Greetings, Guardians. This is Olympus Alliance, and something powerful is about to descend into Hero Wars Alliance. A brand new light titan is arriving. Lumira. Today is not about final builds. Today is not about perfect teams. Today is about the first look. We're going to explore who Lumira is, what her presence means for the light element, and why this titan has the potential to change how future titan battles are played. We'll look at her role, her impact, and the early signs that every Guardian needs to understand before investing resources. And this is only the beginning. In the coming days, we'll go deeper. We'll break down how to build Lumira properly, which teams truly unlock her power, and, just as importantly, how to counter her before she becomes a real threat on the battlefield. So if you want to stay ahead, understand the meta before it settles, and prepare your titans the smart way, you're in the right place. Let's take our first look at Lumira. When Lumira uses her first skill, she summons the Child of Light in front of your allied Titan team for 6 seconds. And this is the key detail: the Child of Light is not a normal attacker. It does not move or attack, but it still has real presence on the field because its health and physical attack scale with Lumira's stats. In other words, as Lumira gets stronger, the Child of Light becomes stronger too, not by leveling itself, but by directly inheriting power from Lumira while it exists during those 6 seconds. Now the real purpose of this summon happens at the end. When the Child of Light disappears, it restores energy to the allied Titan with the lowest energy. If there are no other targets, that energy goes straight back to Lumira instead. And the amount restored is determined by the proportion of the child's remaining health at the moment it vanishes, capped at 1000 energy. So the skill is not about damage. It's about tempo. The longer the Child of Light survives, and the more health it still has when those 6 seconds end, the bigger the energy swing you get, and the faster your team reaches the next ultimate. And here's another important rule straight from the tooltip: the Child of Light is considered a light titan, and it can be attacked. But your own allies' abilities do not affect it. That means you can't boost it, heal it, or protect it with ally effects. The enemy can hit it, and its value depends on whether it can stay healthy until it disappears. So skill 1 is a simple idea with a big consequence. Lumira creates a 6-second summon that scales with her, and then converts that survival into a direct energy injection for the Titan who needs it most. Lumira's second skill is a passive ability called Eternal Sunshine, and this is where her identity as a true light Titan commander really begins to show. This passive empowers allied light titans, and its bonuses stack dynamically based on how many light titans are still alive on the battlefield. The more light titans you keep alive, the stronger the effect becomes, and every stage adds a new layer of power. With 2 light titans alive, your team gains extra attack against dark titans, immediately positioning Lumira as a natural counter-pressure tool against dark compositions. At 3 light titans alive, the bonus expands to include extra defense against dark titans, reinforcing survivability and allowing light teams to stay in the fight longer against their natural rivals. Once you reach 4 light titans alive, Lumira herself gains 400 energy whenever she uses abilities. This is a massive breakpoint, because it dramatically accelerates her ultimate cycle and synergizes directly with her first skill's energy mechanics. At 5 light titans alive, things escalate even further. Allied light titans will stun the enemy titan with the highest physical attack for 4 seconds when they use their first ability. This introduces control into the light element, something it traditionally lacked, and it directly targets the most dangerous physical threat on the enemy team. And finally, at 6 light titans alive, incoming damage to the team is reduced by 50%. This is not a small bonus, this is a full defensive transformation, turning a complete light lineup into an extremely durable frontline that is very difficult to break. What makes this passive so important is that it doesn't activate all at once, it evolves as the battle progresses, rewarding teams that can keep their light titans alive and maintain numbers. Lose titans, and the bonuses weaken. Keep them alive, and Lumira turns light teams into a scaling fortress of control, energy, and defense. This passive alone tells us something very important: Lumira is not designed for mixed element teams. She is designed to reward commitment to the light element, and the deeper you go, the more power she gives back. And this is still just the second skill. Now let's talk about Lumira's weapon artifact, and for this first look, we're not going to get lost in numbers, because those values change completely once this artifact is fully built. What really matters here is what it scales with and what it affects. Lumira's weapon artifact is built around physical attack, and that immediately tells us something important. Even though Lumira herself is not a damage-focused titan, her entire kit, especially the Child of Light, scales directly from her stats. The more physical attack Lumira gains, the stronger the Child of Light becomes while it's on the battlefield. And as we've already seen, the Child of Light is not about dealing damage, it's about survival and conversion. The longer it stays alive during those 6 seconds, the more value you extract in the form of energy generation at the end of its duration. So by increasing Lumira's physical attack through her weapon artifact, you're indirectly increasing the impact and consistency of her core mechanic. This is why this artifact already looks promising. It feeds directly into her first skill, it scales naturally as Lumira grows, and it reinforces the idea that her power curve will rise sharply as her stats increase. For now, this is a first look, not a final verdict. Once we've done proper testing, in real battles, against different elements, and in full light compositions, we'll guide you step by step on how much to invest into this artifact, where the real breakpoints are, and when it's worth pushing further. But even at first glance, the connection is clear. Lumira grows, the Child of Light grows, energy control becomes stronger. And that makes this weapon artifact a key piece of her future potential. Now let's move to Lumira's crown artifact, and this one immediately reinforces what kind of titan she is designed to be. The Crown of Light provides extra damage and extra defense against fire, earth, and water titans. That already tells us something very important: Lumira is not meant to specialize in mirror light battles. She is built to stand strong against the 3 elemental cores of the game. This crown pushes Lumira into a hybrid role. She isn't just supporting through energy mechanics, she is also becoming harder to remove while applying consistent pressure against non-light elements. That matters a lot, because Lumira's value depends on staying alive long enough to cycle her abilities and keep the Child of Light active. The defensive side of this crown is especially important. The longer Lumira survives, the more often she can summon the Child of Light, and the more energy she can distribute to her team. So even though this artifact doesn't look flashy, it directly supports her core identity, longevity, control, and scaling. And once again, this is a first look. We're not locking in crown investment levels yet. After proper testing, against fire, earth, and water teams, in both offensive and defensive scenarios, we'll guide you on how far to push this crown, and when it makes sense to prioritize it over other artifacts. For now, what's clear is this: the Crown of Light is not optional for Lumira. It's a foundational piece that keeps her alive long enough for her mechanics to matter. Finally, let's look at Lumira's seal, and this one ties everything together. The seal provides physical attack and health, and this combination is extremely important for how Lumira actually functions in battle. Physical attack feeds directly into her overall scaling, while health improves her ability to stay alive long enough for her mechanics to matter. This matters because Lumira is not a titan that delivers value instantly. Her power grows over time, through repeated ability usage, through the Child of Light cycle, and through sustained presence on the battlefield. The seal supports exactly that playstyle. More health means Lumira survives longer, which means more opportunities to summon the Child of Light. And more physical attack strengthens the Child of Light itself, since its effectiveness scales from Lumira's stats while it's active. So this seal is not just a generic stat boost. It reinforces Lumira's identity as a scaling, tempo-control titan, one that rewards patience, positioning, and long fights rather than quick bursts. For now, this remains a first look. Once we complete proper testing, across different enemy elements, team compositions, and battle lengths, we'll guide you on how much to invest into the seal, and how it should be prioritized compared to her weapon and crown. But even at this early stage, one thing is clear. The seal is a core artifact for Lumira, because it supports both her survivability, and her scaling mechanics at the same time. And finally, let's talk about Lumira's skin. Lumira's skin focuses entirely on physical attack, and by now, that should feel very consistent with everything we've seen so far. Her kit, her artifacts, and especially the Child of Light all scale from her stats, and physical attack sits at the center of that scaling. This skin doesn't change how Lumira plays mechanically. Instead, it amplifies her growth curve. As physical attack increases, the Child of Light becomes stronger during its 6 seconds on the battlefield, making it harder for enemies to remove and increasing the value of the energy conversion at the end of its duration. What's important here is not rushing this skin blindly. Because Lumira is a scaling titan, the true value of this skin will only become clear once we test her in real conditions, different team compositions, different enemies, and different fight lengths. That's when we'll be able to say how hard this skin should be pushed, and at what point it becomes a priority compared to her artifacts. For now, the takeaway is simple. This skin fits Lumira perfectly. It reinforces her identity, supports the Child of Light, and aligns with her long-term potential rather than short-term burst. And that brings us to the end of this first look. Today was about understanding what Lumira does, how her mechanics work, and why she has the potential to reshape Light Titan teams. In the coming days, we'll go much deeper, with full build guides, optimal investment paths, team compositions, and most importantly, how to counter her before she becomes a serious threat. So make sure you stay tuned, because the real testing starts now. Stay sharp, Guardians. And as always, salute and friendship.